Welcome back to our channel. Please like, subscribe and share for more of our videos. Sit back and enjoy today's video. Thank you.
Into tales of wonder, adventures unfold. Together they explore with animated Bible stories.
Joseph the Dreamer, Genesis chapter 37 and 39. Jacob lived in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived. This is the family history of Jacob. He had 12 sons, but Joseph was his favorite son. Joseph was a young man, 17 years old. He and his brothers cared for the flocks. His brothers were the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. Joseph gave his father bad reports about his brothers. Joseph was born when his father Israel, also called Jacob, was old. So Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons. He made Joseph a special robe with long sleeves. Joseph's brothers saw that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them. So they hated their brother and could not speak to him politely. One time Joseph had a dream. When he told his brothers about it, they hated him even more. Joseph said, "Listen to the dream I had. We were in the field tying bundles of wheat together. My bundle stood up, and your bundles of wheat gathered around mine. Your bundles bowed down to mine." His brothers said, "Do you really think you will be king over us? Do you truly think you will rule over us?" His brothers hated him even more now. They hated him because of his dreams and what he had said. Then Joseph had another dream. He told his brothers about it also. He said, "Listen, I had another dream. I saw the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing down to me." Joseph also told his father about this dream. But his father scolded him, saying, "What kind of dream is this? Do you really believe that your mother, your brothers, and I will bow down to you?" Joseph's brothers were jealous of him. But his father thought about what all these things could mean. One day Joseph's brothers went to Shechem to herd their father's sheep. Jacob said to Joseph, "Go to Shechem. Your brothers are there herding the sheep." Joseph answered, "I will go." His father said, "Go and see if your brothers and the sheep are all right. Then come back and tell me." So Joseph's father sent him from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph came to Shechem, a man found him wandering in the field. He asked Joseph, "What are you looking for?" Joseph answered, "I am looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are herding the sheep?" The man said, "They have already gone. I heard them say they were going to Dothan." So Joseph went to look for his brothers and found them in Dothan. Joseph's brothers saw him coming from far away. Before he reached them, they made a plan to kill him. They said to each other, "Here comes that dreamer. Let us kill him and throw his body into one of the wells. We can tell our father that a wild animal killed him. Then we will see what will become of his dreams." But Reuben heard their plan and saved Joseph. He said, "Let's not kill him. Don't spill any blood. Throw him into this well here in the desert. But don't hurt him." Reuben planned to save Joseph later and send him back to his father. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they pulled off his robe with long sleeves. Then they threw him into the well. It was empty. There was no water in it. While Joseph was in the well, the brothers sat down to eat. When they looked up, they saw a group of Ishmaelites. They were traveling from Gilead to Egypt. Their camels were carrying spices, balm, and myrrh. Then Judah said to his brothers, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and hide his death? Let us sell him to these Ishmaelites. Then we will not be guilty of killing our own brother. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." And the other brothers agreed. So when the Midianite traders came by, the brothers took Joseph out of the well. They sold him to the Ishmaelites for 0.2 kilograms of silver. And the Ishmaelites took him to Egypt. Reuben was not with his brothers when they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites. When Reuben came back to the well, Joseph was not there. Reuben tore his clothes to show he was sad. Then he went back to his brothers and said, "The boy is not there. What shall I do?" The brothers killed a goat and dipped Joseph's long-sleeved robe in its blood. Then they brought the robe to their father. They said, "We found this robe. Look it over carefully. See if it is your son's robe." Jacob looked it over and said, "It is my son's robe. Some savage animal has eaten him. My son Joseph has been torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes and put on rough cloth to show that he was sad. He continued to be sad about his son for a long time. All of Jacob's sons and daughters tried to comfort him, but he could not be comforted. Jacob said, "I will be sad about my son until the day I die." So Jacob cried for his son Joseph. Meanwhile, the Midianites who had bought Joseph had taken him to Egypt. There they sold him to Potiphar. Potiphar was an officer to the king of Egypt and captain of the palace guard. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. An Egyptian named Potiphar was an officer to the king of Egypt. He was the captain of the palace guard. He bought Joseph from the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man. He lived in the house of his master, Potiphar the Egyptian. Potiphar saw that the Lord was with Joseph. He saw that the Lord made Joseph successful in everything he did. So Potiphar was very happy with Joseph. He allowed Joseph to be his personal servant. He put Joseph in charge of the house. Joseph was trusted with everything Potiphar owned. So Joseph was put in charge of the house. He was put in charge of everything Potiphar owned. Then the Lord blessed the people in Potiphar's house because of Joseph. And the Lord blessed everything that belonged to Potiphar, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar put Joseph in charge of everything he owned. Potiphar was not concerned about anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome. After some time, the wife of Joseph's master began to desire Joseph. One day she said to him, "Have physical relations with me." But Joseph refused. He said to her, "My master trusts me with everything in his house. He has put me in charge of everything he owns. There is no one in his house greater than I. He has not kept anything from me except you, and that is because you are his wife. How can I do such an evil thing? It is a sin against God." The woman talked to Joseph every day, but he refused to have physical relations with her or even spend time with her. One day, Joseph went into the house to do his work as usual. He was the only man in the house at that time. His master's wife grabbed his coat. She said to him, "Come and have physical relations with me." But Joseph left his coat in her hand and ran out of the house. She saw what Joseph had done. He had left his coat in her hands and had run outside. So she called to the servants in her house. She said, "Look, this Hebrew slave was brought here to shame us. He came in and tried to have physical relations with me, but I screamed. My scream scared him and he ran away. But he left his coat with me." She kept his coat until her husband came home, and she told her husband the same story. She said, "This Hebrew slave you brought here came in to shame me. When he came near me, I screamed. He ran away, but he left his coat." When Joseph's master heard what his wife said Joseph had done, he became very angry. So Potiphar arrested Joseph and put him into prison. This prison was where the king's prisoners were put, and Joseph stayed there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him kindness. the Lord caused the prison warden to like Joseph. The prison warden chose Joseph to take care of all the prisoners. He was responsible for whatever was done in the prison. The warden paid no attention to anything that was in Joseph's care. This was because the Lord was with Joseph. The Lord made Joseph successful in everything he did. I wonder, what were Joseph's 2 dreams, and how did his brothers and father react to them? Did you guess right? In Joseph's first dream, his brothers' bundles of wheat bowed to his. In the second dream, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed to him. His brothers reacted with increased hatred and jealousy, while his father scolded him, but also pondered the meaning of the dreams. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Meanwhile, please enjoy this song from today's video. Thank you.
House of the dreamer. In Canaan, Jacob lived with his son so near. Joseph, 17, was love more, it was clear. In his dreams he saw greatness. In the night, brothers' hearts grew colder, filled with spite. Joseph the dreamer, in his coat so bright. Visions of the future, in the starry night. Brothers full of envy, hearts turned to stone. Joseph the dreamer would walk this path alone. Sent to find his brothers far from home's embrace, cast into a well and sold in disgrace, taken to